Today we're talking about the pros and the cons of living in Argyle, Texas. Argyle is known to be one of the best Dallas suburbs, so you don't want to miss this. Stay tuned.
So let's go ahead and start off and talk about the pros of Argyle. And then we'll talk about the cons. And then at the very last, we're going to talk about what could be either a pro or a con. So stay tuned till the very end. One of the pros for living in Argyle, because Argyle is really known for being a small rural community in Denton County. It's only got a population of just around 4,700 people. Yeah. Now, it definitely is growing like all of North Texas is right now, but they're really known for their rolling terrain, all the beautiful trees, just a very scenic area, basically in the heart of the north end of the Metroplex.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful place. I mean, it's one of those places that we have a lot of clients that actually want to move there because, they're known for it just being, it has that small town feel. It actually, Argyle is actually located along just a 2-lane road. It's Highway 377. And I think the biggest intersection over there is at 377 and 407, which is another 2-lane road. So everything happens kind of along this little 2-lane road. So it's just very rural. But again, it's just so pretty out there. I mean, you've got a lot of farms and ranches, as well as, housing and all, which we'll get into later. But it is such a beautiful location, and yet it's still, close to the DFW Metroplex.
And it's definitely very peaceful. You definitely have that feel of living out in the country for sure.
Now, even though it is a rural town, one of the things that is really cool about it is there's some great restaurants there, which we always know about the really good restaurants. 407 Barbecue is one of our favorites, and along with a lot of people's favorites, because I know they've won quite a few awards for having some of the best barbecue in all of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. They're out actually on Highway 407, and we go out there pretty frequently, I think.
At least twice a month.
Yeah, so there's 407 Barbecue, which is well known, and then also Bumbershoot Barbecue. There's Earl's 377, Italian food, pizza.
Gnome cones, which, they're basically is shaved ice, but then all their toppings are all natural. So if that is of interest to you, they're very, very good. And it's all just in this little condensed area where you got gnome cones, you've got the barbecue place, and then you've also got Earl's Italian restaurant. And they're all just kind of right there with the open air area where you can be able to throw washers, just a great family time for sure.
Oh, and don't forget about Kimsey's. So Kimsey's Coffee Shop is in the same little area with Bumbershoot Barbecue and Gnome Combs and Earl's. And Kimsey's is really cool because the way they built it, it's very whimsical. And it's just a cool place that we like to go. They have all kinds of craft coffees and all kinds of cool drinks and then dessert, sweet stuff. And it's just a neat place to hang out. I know my daughter loves to go and hang out there and get little specialty drinks.
You definitely can't miss the building because it looks like something that is in, a cartoon or a Disney animated movie, something like that.
So it's really neat.
They've done a really cool job with that for sure.
Right. Now, besides, great restaurants and all, I mean, there are a few other things there. They obviously have a post office. They have, I think, one bank as of right now, again, but they are growing. There are just a few boutiques and little shops around and like that. But because of being such a small town, kind of out in a rural area, the crime rate obviously is pretty low, which is something else that people like to look at.
Another pro about Argyle is the housing, because it's very diverse in the fact that you've got your regular just small lots with regular houses on, all the way up to multiple acreage horse properties.
Huge horse properties.
So with that being said, as far as the diversity of housing, I mean, your lot sizes are your traditional, single family lot sizes, less than a quarter acre, all the way up to the multiple acreage with that. One of the, I guess you could say, older or established neighborhoods there is Country Lakes on the very north end of Argyle, butts up to the city of Denton, borderline right there as well. So really Country Lakes is in both cities. However, you're looking starting off in the 300,000 going up into about the 600,000 plus range. They're almost done building out there, but they've got some really great homes right there with a community swim or a couple different community swimming pools, some trails, and things like that. But you still, even though you're in a subdivision, you still feel like you're out in the country right now for sure.
Right, and I think a lot of people like Country Lakes too because it is so close to Interstate 35W. Just jump right on the interstate. You can jump right down to Fort Worth or head up to Denton. It's a great location for that neighborhood.
Yeah, in fact, we actually had a client that moved from South Denton over to Country Lakes because they said it's easier for them to get to work to downtown Dallas area, just the way the roads were working on that end of that. So, and then you've got 5T Ranch where that's has recently gone in the last couple of years. You're on about a 1/3 acre of a lot, custom built homes, a beautiful area backed up to a lot of trees right there. With a little bit of rolling terrain. The subdivision has been done very, very well. Plus, you're right next to that little strip center right there. So you got like a Subway. You got Snooty Pig for your breakfast spot right there as well. And I believe there's a vet there for be able to take care of your pets and things like that. So
beautiful neighborhood. Those are beautiful homes. I love those homes.
Most definitely.
Very more of a modern feel.
Yeah. Then you got the lakes of Argyle. And again, that's the new subdivision that's recently been going in. They're still building in there, and you've got a lot of different subdivisions that are being built right now. That because it is such a growing area for sure. Right,
and I know you'll talk about too. There are some older subdivisions there that are on the larger lots. You've got 1 to 2 acre lots, and if you want to talk about those, they're older homes, but you get more space too as well.
Oh yeah, I mean the homes are built anywhere from about the 1970s and above, but you're on 1 to 2, up to 5 acre tracts, and a lot of those homes still need some updating, or there also have been a lot that have been updated as well. All of those are pretty much either going to be on a well for your water and also a septic. So it's still rural enough to where you're still having to use those services. You don't have the city amenities with that, but you still get a lot of space, a lot of trees. Whether you want to put a pool in or to be able to have a shop, so that way put your toys in the shop or do whatever you want to do, like I want to do. So
exactly right. Now, another really cool neighborhood is Argyle Town Village. It's in downtown Argyle, which, there's not really a downtown area, but it's really cool because it is a green subdivision. They build little craftsman-style homes or small homes on small lots in about the 400 range, but they're such neat homes. I mean, it's very different. Like you were saying, such a diversity of housing there. So that's a really cool little area.
And it's tucked away where a lot of trees and some terrain there, rolling hills. So it really adds a little specialty with that.
A lot of character.
And then, we also have got Canyon Falls, which is a large master planned community that's gone in just recently. It's on the west side of 377, between 377 and 35W. And it's got, a few thousand homes there, and they're still continuing to build. You've got 8 to 10 different builders in there, so you've got a lot to choose from, a lot of different price points to choose from as well. And their claim to fame, and it's really cool how they've used a lot of the land there where there's a lot of terrain where you're not just on top of each other. It's just house after house. They've been able to space it out.
Right.
You've got miles of different walking and biking trails. You've got lakes, parks.
I mean, it's a huge subdivision, but it's a neat place.
Yeah. Community swimming pool. Now with Canyon Falls, as far as the city limits where it falls into 3 different ones, which is Argyle, Flower Mound, and North Lake. So you've got that really kind of a divide right in there. But then as far as the school districts that it serves is Argyle ISD and Northwest ISD. So you've got those 2 different districts to choose from there.
Which you can't go wrong. Both of those are phenomenal school districts.
Yeah, most definitely.
I think that's one of the big attractions that draws a lot of families there, I think, is great schools. Yeah,
great schools, community feel, all the activities. Location.
Lots of activities, yes. Tons of activities. Location close to 35, like he was saying. But a ton of activities and amenities. They have a calendar of events. They're always doing all kinds of things.
Yeah, and as far as right now, the price points are starting off in the 400s, and they go all the way up to right around the $1 million mark in there as well.
Now, another pro for Argyle is obviously the schools. You may have already heard Argyle is served by Argyle ISD and is actually ranked as the #1 school district according to the rankings from Niche for 2021. So Argyle ISD, it covers, kindergarten all the way through 12th, obviously. Argyle ISD is also ranked the top 1.5% of all school districts in the state of Texas. Now, niche.com rated Argyle ISD as #1 for one of the best for athletes, best teachers, and safety. Now, Niche also rated Argyle ISD as number 17 and best public schools in all of DFW.
Now, another choice for having schools right there in Argyle is you have Liberty Christian School. They go all the way from preschool all the way through 12. Liberty Christian is a college prep school, so they've got a lot of great academics there, along with their athletics, which is doing very, very well as well. And they actually just made national news as far as hiring Jason Witten as their head football coach. So I'm sure the kids are very ecstatic about having a former Dallas Cowboy football player as their head coach. That's pretty cool.
No doubt, no doubt. It's part of their claim to fame, but they are a very, very well-known private school. People will drive their kids from pretty much all over Dallas-Fort Worth just to go there.
Yeah, and their facilities are phenomenal as well. I mean, their baseball fields and their track and all that. They definitely have all the facilities there for the kids and all that to making sure that they're succeeding, in their sports and their academics, and the campus is great for sure.
It is actually, we just went on a tour there just recently, and we're pretty blown away by it. I mean, their process for admission and everything that you go through, they make sure that they screen the families and the children and make sure that they're a good fit. And just looking at the campus, I thought it was pretty cool. They sold me with their lunchroom. Oh my goodness. So they actually have, I know we get excited about food, but they actually have just like buffet of all kinds of food, and everything is included with the price. So it's almost like, going on vacation when the meals are like included in everything. So it was pretty neat. It's a great school. It's definitely, you can't go wrong with the schools there at all.
No, either one, whether you go Argyle or Liberty, you're definitely in great hands either way. No question about it. Or even if you're living in Canyon Falls with Northwest ISD, you're in great hands there. Right.
And then, of course, Flower Mound schools are, right there on the corner as well. And with open enrollment. So, you've got some good choices.
Okay, so we've talked about the pros of Argyle. So let's go ahead and jump into the cons. Now, as far as the cons that are there is, there's just a handful of companies there. So, the choice of employment is very sparse. So you're really looking at either telecommuting or physically commuting into the Dallas-Fort Worth area. However, there is the Alliance Corridor, which is south of there on 35W on the very north end of Fort Worth. And there's over 60 corporations that are housed right there in that Alliance Corridor. So you've got some great options there for jobs, for sure.
Definitely. Because, a lot of people that are moving into the area, they automatically think about the corridor over with McKinney, Plano, Frisco. We have a lot of people that want to know those areas because they think there's a lot of corporations, a lot of jobs over there, but it's not as well known, but there are actually just a lot of corporations on the other side of the Metroplex as well, on the Fort Worth side, and you have a pretty easy commute over there as well. So even though Argyle doesn't necessarily have, a lot of corporate, jobs and everything on that side, you're still pretty close to it. So it's a con, but there are solutions, there's ways around that. Now, another con is going to be shopping. There is no grocery store as of yet right now in Argyle.
Which I'm sure is coming soon with the growth that's happening right there.
Right. However, there is Roanoke. It's just about a 10 to 15 minute drive south, and there's a Walmart there. And then on the other side, there is about a 10 to 15 minute drive over to Bartonville, where there is a Kroger and a Starbucks for those of you who love their Starbucks. So you're within really close. And even Denton is like maybe a 20-minute drive if you want to drive north to Denton to go shopping. You have some options there. But as far as grocery shopping, you don't have that in Argyle. You would have to drive a little bit. As far as retail, like clothes shopping and things, there's a few boutiques there, but you would kind of have to drive a little bit. And again, like he mentioned earlier, Alliance Corridor, there's actually quite a bit of shopping down there. They actually have the Tanger outlet malls. They have tons of stuff down there. And it's only maybe, 15-minute drive?
Maybe, yeah.
Just straight over there. It's off of Interstate 35. Now, another con is the nightlife or lack of and entertainment. If you're single, ready to mingle, probably not a great location for you. There's not a ton of things to do there, except for there is 407 gun range if you enjoy that.
Well, that and just in the surrounding areas or just south of there around the Roanoke area, you've got DFW Adventure Park where, you've got paintball, you've got the just adventure lines and all that.
Zip lines,
right. Laser tag and mud runs, and they just do a whole gamut of a lot of stuff there because I've got acres and acres of fields just to do a lot of different activities there. So they're very well known for that, and it's really easy access to get to right off of 114 and 35W.
But if you're looking for just, a date night or something like that, you've got Marty B's that's just down the road in Bartonville. Like I said, 10-15 minute drive, which Marty B's is such a cool place. I mean, it can be for an adult night out. You can take your kids. We really enjoy going there because they actually have live entertainment, I believe, on the weekends. So there's an outside area that you can hang out, picnic tables, live music. They've got cabanas you could rent, so you could hang out with your friends or family. They actually have games outside for the kiddos. I think it's like they have little like cows that the kids can rope, the cow horns and stuff.
Yeah. And I think like washers and just some other stuff. So just, just a really good, clean atmosphere. And
the
just
food,
a lot of fun.
The food is amazing.
Yeah.
Definitely. Marty, he has several restaurants in the area, and he does not make any bad food. I mean, everything is so good. And so it's a really great environment if you wanted to go hang out there. There's also Jeter's Meat Shop in Bartonville as well. It used to be just a little tiny, I think, grocery store or meat shop, and now they fixed it up. And we haven't personally been, but I've heard that it's quite the hangout on the weekends.
We've driven by there a couple times on the weekends, and it's packed because they've got some outdoor seating as well. So it looks like a great hangout place.
And they have live entertainment as well on most weekends, I think. So you do have some options, but again, like if you're looking for a downtown nightlife, like this is probably not going to be the place for you.
Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about something that could either be a pro or a con. So, we talk about where Argyle is, definitely a rural community, a great place. The thing of it is now you got to be able to drive, 15 minutes, what we talked about, to, Marty B's or to Starbucks or to, the grocery store. Some people, doesn't bother them or it, either or for sure on that.
Yeah, some people are willing to, if they can just have their little piece of peace and quiet, they're willing to make the drive. But here's the deal. I mean, it's a good hour drive, depending on time of day, to downtown Dallas. And it's a good probably 45-minute drive to downtown Fort Worth. And, you're going to have to do some driving if you need to go anywhere. If you're working in downtown Dallas, this may not be a great fit for you unless, again, you're willing to drive. Now, traffic is a big deal in DFW. Yeah. So, if you are having to work in a specific location, that may be further away from Argyle, that's something that you definitely want to take into consideration.
Yeah, because you're also 30 minutes away from, DFW Airport. So if you're having to do a lot of commuting that way, there's that issue there for sure to think about. But being able to drive to either Dallas or Fort Worth, you definitely some great entertainment there as well. We love Fort Worth as far as Sundance Square.
Wow!
That's just an awesome place that the Bass family's put a lot of money into. That they've invested there. So you've got a lot of restaurants, bars, other activities for the whole family there as well. For sure. Yeah,
we actually, downtown Fort Worth has 4-day weekend. If you're into comedy like that, We
for
haven't
improv,
we haven't
yeah.
been in a little while, but we used to go quite often, and that's a great time. Of course, they have the stockyards that you can go get your kind of cowboy feel. You know, they have the cattle drives, and they have all kinds of stuff for kids, and then they've got bars and restaurants as well.
Because they've got the Red Signal Rodeo there, and it's really cool because when they do their big parade coming in with all the chuck wagons and all that, they just park chuck wagons right there on the grass, and they start tearing up the dirt to start doing all their Dutch oven cooking right there. So that's really cool for me personally.
Again, food. Yeah, we enjoy food. But you are close to some things, but yet it just depends on what your definition of, you know, commuting to have to go places versus some people just enjoy living out and they want to go to their own little piece of quiet out there, and they're willing to make the drive. So location could definitely be a pro or a con. So today we were showing you all about the pros and cons of living in Argyle, Texas, one of the best Dallas suburbs. But if this rural town isn't for you or is not close to your work, we are here to help you find your ideal location so that you're not stuck in Dallas traffic every day. The only way we can do that is if you reach out to us. You can call us, email us, or you can fill out the VIP buyer experience form below. However you choose to get in touch with us is okay with us. You know we've got you covered when it comes to moving to the best Dallas suburbs.
Check out one of our next videos so that way you can learn everything you need to know about one of the best suburbs in the Dallas area.